Thank you, friend, for joining me today. Thank you so much for your prayers and support for this ministry. Let us continue reading this testimony for the church by Alan G. White, number 13, 1867. My Father in heaven, I praise you and I thank you. I pray that you will preserve, protect, and provide for your people. In the name of your Son, through your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Sister White wrote, my interest was in this work. My life was interwoven with it. If Zion prosper, I am happy. If she languish, I am sad, desponding, and discouraged. I saw that God's people were in an alarming condition, and his favor was being removed from them. I pondered upon this sad picture day and night, and have plead in bitter anguish, O Lord, give not thine heritage to reproach. Let not the heathen say, where is their God? I felt cut loose from everyone at the head of the work, and I was virtually standing alone. I dared not trust anywhere. In the night, I have awakened my husband, saying, I am afraid I shall become an infidel. Then I would cry for the Lord to save me by his own powerful arm. I could not see as the testimonies I have borne were regarded, and entertained thoughts that perhaps my work in the cause was done. We have appointments at Bushnell, but I told my husband that I could not go. He soon returned from the post office with a letter from Brother Madison containing the following dream. Dear Brother White, may the blessing of God be with you, and these lines find you still prospering and improving in health and spiritual strength. I feel very thankful to the Lord for his goodness to you, and trust that you may yet enjoy perfect health and freedom in the proclamation of the last message. I have had a remarkable dream about you and Sister White, and I felt it to be my duty to relate the same to you as far as I can remember. I dreamed that I related the dream to Sister White, as well as the interpretation thereof, which also was given me in the dream. When I awoke, something urged me to get up and write down all the particulars, lest I should forget them. But I neglected to do so, partly because I was tired and partly because I thought it was nothing but a dream. But seeing that I never dreamed of you before, then that this dream was so intelligent and so intimately connected with you, I have come to the conclusion that I ought to tell you. The following is all that I can remember of it. I was in a large house where there was a pulpit somewhat like those we use in our meeting houses. On it stood many lamps which were burning, but these lamps needed a constant supply of oil. Quite a number of us were engaged in carrying oil and filling into the lamps. Brother White was busily engaged with his companion, and I noticed that Sister White filled in more oil than any other. Then Brother White went to a door which opened into a warehouse where there were many barrels with oil. He opened the door and went in, and Sister White followed. Just then a company of men came along. They carried a great quantity of black stuff that looked like a soot. Then they heaped it all upon brother and sister White until they were completely covered with it. I felt much grieved and looked anxiously to see the end of these things. I could see brother and sister White both working hard under the soot to get out from it. After a long struggle, they came out as bright as ever. The evil men in the suit all disappeared. Then brother and sister White engaged again more heartily than ever in supplying the lamps with oil, but Sister White still had the proceedings. I dreamed that the following was the interpretation. The lamps represented the remnant people, the oil, the truth, and heavenly love of which God's people need a constant supply. The people engaged in supplying the lamps were the servants of God laboring in the harvest. Who the evil company were in particular, I could not tell, but they were men moved upon by the devil, who directed their evil influence, especially against brother and sister White. They were in great distress for a season, but were at last delivered by the grace of God and their earnest struggle and efforts. Then finally, The power of God rested upon them, and they acted a prominent part in the proclamation of the last message of warning, of mercy. But Sister White had a richer supply of heavenly wisdom and love than the rest. The dream has rather strengthened my confidence in the Lord that He will lead you out and finish the work of restoration that is begun, and that you shall once more enjoy the Spirit of God as you did in times past. Yea, more abundantly. Forget not that human humility is the door that leads to the rich supplies of the grace of God. May the Lord bless you and your companion and your children, and grant us to meet in the heavenly kingdom. Yours in bond of Christian love, John Mattis, and Oakland, Wisconsin, July 15, 1867. We'll read the next paragraph the next time. And God